This can't be right. This doesn't look right, does it? Maybe if I... No, that doesn't work either.
What you trying to prove over there?
Just a simple project for Sunday school. I didn't think it would be this hard. All I'm trying to do is trace the genealogy of everyone in the class back to a specific person in the Bible. I mean, this thing should write itself, shouldn't it?
It sounds a little ambitious.
I'll tell you where the problem is. I keep getting stuck at the Red Sea.
Yeah, I hear that can be an issue.
Maybe if I back up and make some adjustments around Ephesus.
Maybe you should step away from it for a while. You're going cross-eyed.
No, man, I'm finally in the zone.
If you say so. What gave you this idea anyway?
In class a couple weeks ago, Miss Everett was talking about how the Old and New Testaments are connected, and how the Bible tells the story of God's people. And she said we're a part of that continuing story, even today. So I figured, if that's true, then we must all have biblical ancestors.
Well, in a sense, I guess we do.
And I figured it must be a whole lot easier to see where your story's going, if you know how it began.
Began?
Yeah, like, what if I could show you that you're descended from King David? You might feel better about those poems you scribbled in your notebook if you knew the guy who wrote the Book of Psalms is your great-great-great times infinity uncle.
Oh,
If I can show Tyler that he's descended from the Apostle Paul, then maybe he won't feel so bad about crashing his dad's boat so many times.
Okay.
And like, if we found out I was descended from someone like, I don't know, Joshua, well maybe I'd have an easier time getting the guys at school to listen to my ideas.
Oh, I get it.
If the Bible's telling our story, I just think we all would be better off knowing our exact place in it, don't you?
It's a cool idea, Bram.
But I'll tell you where the real problem is. It's that jump from the New Testament back to the Old one.
Jump?
Yeah, a lot of my lines just seem to dead end there. I'm trying to figure out if I should just be okay to stop there. I mean, at least we got through the important part of the Bible, the part with Jesus.
Whoa, important part?
Yeah, I mean, we always say we're trying to be like Jesus, and Jesus didn't come along until the New Testament. So, I guess it's okay if I don't get all the way back to the Old Testament, because I've got what we need in the second half.
That's not exactly how it works, Bram.
You don't think so?
No way. If you skip out on the Old Testament, you're missing all the stuff that set the stage for Jesus to begin with.
I guess so, but...
Don't you remember how much Jesus quoted the Old Testament when he was teaching people here on earth? That's because his ministry was part of the ministry God had started with the law hundreds of years before. You can't take one without the other. If we read the whole Bible, we can see how God was working to connect Joshua and David and Paul, and how it makes a path all the way to us, showing us how we can do great things for God on earth by using faith like they did.
Okay, cool. So we're keeping the Old Testament. It's gonna make it harder to hammer down those family ties, though.
I don't think you have to work so hard to connect yourself to the story of the Bible.
If I don't find out who my relatives are, how do I tap into the family destiny?
That destiny belongs to all of God's people, blood-related or not. It's like Miss Everett said, the Bible is the story of God's people, including us. If we're all part of God's family, then we already have the makings of all those leaders.
But family...
Family's built into it, man. When you're a believer, you're part of God's family. And all these stories are your stories too.
I guess. That's kind of a relief.
You don't sound so sure.
I just spent a lot of time on this wall is the thing.
Leave it up. I like it.
Cool. Want to play Doctrine Invaders?
You know it.